you all made your way to the hill of St. Aya's Church to sneak in and collect these selkie skins. And you've sent the women down to the beach, creating distractions so they can get away. And both of you in the dark of night discover that there's this strange presence. Something that only Irina sort of picked up on earlier that morning, but now it's illusions, shadow, and hot demon shit that you have sort of witnessed making your way through this church. And Irina, as you pushed open that door to the back room where Mother Amelia resides, where you'd been that morning, you are forced suddenly to remember this night that you allowed a demon to seduce you as a young girl. That same night that your young orphan friend was thrown or fell from a height to die down in the courtyard. That is still a little bit unclear. But these visions of Romania are shaken from your mind, Irina, as you attempt to see this creature as it stands across from you in the open door in Mother Amelia's room. And this low light coming from the two of you in the hallway, coming from behind you, casts these long shadows reaching, stretching through the door and sort of wrapping themselves around this male figure. You see hard muscle, the most beautiful man you've ever seen, or a raven, or a snake, or a crooked old man. You're not really sure which one. But you hear these words. In your mind, out loud, you're not sure. I am temptation. I am elation. I am desire. I am the wrong thing that feels right. Make a fear check.
Oh.
So you're going to roll for logic or empathy. Make sure that you add another die on top of that, since there's one other person in your party aside from you.
But remove 2, right?
Yeah, so you guys are going to remove... It's always at -2 because you guys have 2 mental conditions each. And then you're going to take your remaining logic or empathy dice. You're going to add an extra dice for each player character in the scene. So... and then if you have a talent that makes fear tests easier, make sure that you've reacted accordingly, and then roll that number of dice.
I got 1 success, but it's against something, right?
Well, it's a fear 2 check.
Okay.
So unfortunately, 1 won't do it.
I wonder, I only am rolling 3 dice, so I highly, highly doubt that I am going to make this check. I wonder if I should do my blessing. I get +2 blessing to a test of my choice.
Sure. The stakes here are this. If you become terrified, you could be terrified and either have to... You can decide on your subsequent rounds, because you'll roll a d6 to see how many rounds it'll take for you to snap out of it. And each of those rounds, you'll be able to choose to either flee, freeze, faint, or attack.
Right. I remember this.
Yeah.
You know what? I won't use it yet. I feel like this is just the beginning. And I also still have my absolution, and I can heal 3 conditions. So maybe I'll wait till it gets worse. But let's see. Let me roll my 3 dice.
Yeah.
1 success and a 5 and a 4. Damn it! So close.
Oh,
All right. Both of you roll a d6.
4.
1.
Oh. All right. In this moment, you become terrified, Vanessa. And you've just been sort of watching in these moments that stretch just a little bit too long as Irina has stood here, and you can see a trickle of sweat beading at her brow and dripping down the length of her face. This moment expands for you as you just see the hulk and the shadow in the room beyond her. And you are frozen, terrified to look. That feeling that you had as a young girl in that room as the darkness pressed in around you and something just outside the barrier of the light was waiting to devour or change or control or hurt you. You're not entirely sure, but you feel that you are that child again in your own way. And then for you, Irina, you are only going to be terrified for one round, but you take in this thing, and it is, again, an immediate return. But you've seen this creature only in your mind since childhood. The last time you ever saw this thing was back in Romania, back when you were a young girl, and part of leaving was to get away from it. Part of never wanting to return to these hallowed grounds. This has all been your greatest fear. Now, I think we should go ahead and just pull our initiative cards, or roll your d10s in our case, since we're playing remotely. And let's just see where everybody winds up, and so we can organize our actions accordingly.
I rolled a 3.
A 3.
A 5.
Do you remember, I think it was Anne who was frightened in like our first encounter.
The very first encounter, yeah.
And being frightened sucks. You can't do anything. And I'm frightened now for 4 fucking rounds. So I'm like, great, I'm
great.
ghost.
Great. Cool.
It's one of my least favorite mechanics that you're... Like, I would be like, it's okay to be afraid 1 round. Or 2 rounds, maybe. But like this, like, you're out of
6
combat.
is really rough. But don't worry. I have something planned for you. You stand in the door, both of you frozen. And the Vassin, who rolled 2, goes first.
Fuck.
You stand there, Irina, trying to see those eyes, something beyond the sort of like sweep of dark hair that falls across this face that's obfuscated from you. And suddenly, it doesn't seem like you are standing where you are anymore. You find yourself in a stone-walled room, small, a closet. You are standing in front of this young boy who's presented himself to you as one of the older boys in the orphanage, about to be put to work with a family just outside. And he is so handsome. He is everything you shouldn't want as a young devotee of the church. And from the memory of this boy's face, you see 2 pinpoints of almost like a purple flame in his irises. And he says, "It was not a god who made you whole. It was I who pressed upon you until you became need itself, sparkling with doubt and desire like a diamond. Look how far you've come, little Irina. And now you're home." And he's going to go ahead and roll a little bit of a mental attack on you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God damn it. Those are some heavy fucking dice.
Yeah, there's a lot of dice going on.
I'm not rolling in my tray because I feel like it's more fun this way. All right, so that's 2 successes.
I can't take any action, so I can't parry this. So, what, I'm broken?
I think that may be the case, unless Vanessa is able to do something later in their turn to release you from this situation. How do you feel like this happens for you?
Irina falls down to her knees, tears streaming down her face, and she starts praying. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
You feel the warmth of a hand caressing the side of your face
I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy scepter.
For you, Vanessa, in your fear, you see this preternaturally long limb stretch out from across the room. And then suddenly, the creature is there, standing in front of both of you, caressing, kneeling, like almost lovingly in front of your friend. And he says, "She's come so far in my service, letting the rot take hold, dragging her down to utter depravity and cold isolation. She deserves a friend.
Restoreth my soul, he leadeth
Don't
me
you
in paths of
think?
righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I shall walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou..."
He looks up at you, Vanessa, and it's your turn.
I can't do anything.
You can do one of three things. You can flee, you can attack, you can freeze,
You can faint.
you can faint,
You can attack, actually.
I can't.
but you can attack. And he's right there.
Wait, I can attack?
You can. He's right there. You can attack, you can faint, or you can flee, but you don't have the two actions that you normally take, right?
Yeah, I think. I think she hearing Irina go into a prayer,
Mm-hmm.
and like knowing Irina's loss of faith and understanding it, like fully understanding it, and like accepting Irina for who she is now, and like not understanding exactly like her past troubles, but like trying to be a good friend in the present. She's like emboldened and doesn't want to run away, wants to protect her friend.
Yeah.
And this is exactly like Vanessa's goal in life, like to protect people from these like unseen entities that she was either gifted or cursed with being allowed to experience.
Yeah.
She reaches towards her hip flask, which is like tucked in between like the fold of like the top of her dress and the bottom of her skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And she also starts chanting Abu Garamana and Folk Pentrucineva Abu Garamanofen, and she throws open her hip flask, which is not full of alcohol, but full of holy water.
Nice.
And she's using her holy water equipment. And for those at home, her memento, which is her hip flask with that inscription on it.
Nice.
And she's going to throw the holy water at the demon. And I don't really know how this attack would work in game.
Okay. Let's say it's an inspiration check, because you're doing a sort of a ritualistic activity.
Okay. So inspiration.
And you get your bonus for using your memento.
Okay.
And then remember to subtract 2.
Damn it. Okay. Also, the Romanian saying, I don't know if I ever said this on air, but Abu Gamana and Folk Pentrucineva is to put your hand in fire for someone else. And it's like a common idiom for them that they say, and like that's how she feels about Irina. She's like, I would, walk through fire for you.
Yeah.
1 success on the last roll.
Steam rises from what you realize now is like standing in front of a furnace. This creature, this being, is howling in pain, and then you see a smile cut itself across the young, handsome face. Vanessa. And you recognize that same voice, the voice that followed you all of those years, that you kept at bay, always keeping the light close to you. Any other would have fallen to me long ago. Yours is the soul that cannot be taken. It It would be so delicious to hold you close. But you always guarded yourself so well. I want the soul of Akkel. Perhaps you'd be willing to trade. And then he looks down at Irina, rocking and sobbing and praying in front of him. All right, that's round 1. So, back around to the top of the round. The Vaesen now has a chance to act. He is going to reach out for you, Vanessa, with his long hand. A shadow claw, if you will. He hisses, pulling it back. He growls, "The light." And he cannot press towards you. It's as if there's something that has always guarded you, whether it's faith or something else. I don't know. You would have to tell me. But he still cannot press into your mind the way that he has been able to press into others. Vanessa, it is your turn. Irina, you are still broken and frozen.
I only had... Okay.
You had
It's
Yeah.
Vanessa's turn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he acted before
Well,
you, so
actually,
you...
it's actually Vanessa's turn anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
you're
Well, then-
before me in initiative.
Yeah.
Well, then I have a great idea.
Yeah.
I am going to grab Irina's hand because she's right next to me, and looking at this demon with as much, fire and brimstone in her eyes as he has in his. And she's going to say, "You do not control her. You will leave this place and leave her alone." And she's going to use her absolution and heal 3 conditions on Irina as this powerful, it's like energy, it's like spiritual, it's like ephemeral, but it's tangible, in the room, and it is flowing from her now into Irina as she holds her hand. And maybe there's a glowing light in the view of this demon. Maybe
Yeah.
to him that's what it looks like. To the sleeping woman in the bed, I do not know how she's still asleep.
Yeah.
Mother Amelia. But hopefully she's not dead. And Vanessa just suddenly has that thought for a split second, fuck, I forgot about Mother Amelia.
So all of this is exactly as you say. And there's this sense for you, Irina, for whom faith has never been, the thing ever since you left. But there's a different kind of faith and trust that comes from friendship, that comes from not being abandoned by people that you always told yourself would abandon you if you went back. So yes, there is this warmth that spreads into you, and the touch, not of somebody who's trying to take something from you, but of somebody who wants to bolster you, shoots through you, and you come back to yourself and are able to act. It is your turn.
Oh, cool.
Yay!
So that pushes me into mental condition angry. But I also need to do a critical injury, so I'm just going to do that quickly and see if I die. That's going to be... Oh, that's perfect. 43 furious.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes!
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
So defect that I'm capricious. Is that what it means? But I get a -1 on manipulation, and it lasts for 6 days. So
Okay.
yeah, she's realizing now, this wasn't on me. This was this fucking demon who's been controlling me, and she's angry with herself for letting him control her, while clearly it was possible to not be controlled by this demon. And it's just all this anger boiling down to one big freaking knuckle-dusted fist, and she just tries to slam whatever this man, whatever this creature is, right in the face.
Amazing.
As hard as she can.
Give me the dusting.
All right. One success.
Okay.
Her fist comes from nowhere, and she just, all of her might and anger and years of just hating herself is wrapped up in this fist, and she just goes for his face. Tries to go break his nose, and she won't stop. She just goes for it, and then goes for it again as many times as she can. Obviously, only one time counts. But it's I don't know, if he parries, then it's nothing, of course. But otherwise, it's too damn.
This has become amazing. This has become a fight
with a fucking demon.
With a demon of some kind, but a fight nonetheless. For the soul of Irina. All right, so it is now the Venus's turn. He will fight back against you.
So it's a new round, right?
Yep. So he lashes out with these clawed hands that rake them, somehow wrap around behind you, and you feel that feeling of fingers scratching down either side of your back.
Before we roll, I would like to parry.
Okay.
Because fuck that.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, 2 successes on my parry.
Okay. You feel the presence of those hands moving to rake down your back. What do you do to delete this damn down?
Since my fist is already up there, I'm gonna grab his face and try to pluck his eyes out with my thumbs and like distract him from that parry, and like just as I do so, put my arms around my own face and from away from his claws.
Amazing.
But this is turning into a really ugly grabbing fight.
Yeah, so Vanessa, you watch as the shadow sort of encloses Irina for a moment, and then 2 white hands reach out from the shadow, wrapping themselves around whatever is attempting to look like a skull in this sort of evasive, elusive creature, and the fingers begin pressing into the fiery pits of the eyes. It is your turn, Vanessa.
Yeah, this is a full-on fight. I think she is again going to just, with her hip flask, she already has it out. She's going to be like doing the sign of the cross, continuing a different prayer to like expel this demon. And she thinks back to her time at the convent and like the things she learned, and she's just like, nothing could prepare you for this. Like nothing. No amount of Hail Marys that she did when she broke the rules, and like, you know, like all the scary shit that the nuns would do, like nothing could have prepared her for this. But then as she's doing this, like looking at Irina and feeling so powerful, like so powerful, she thinks back to when she experienced what she thinks was like her first Vasen in the alleyway, which was like a demonic thing. And she wonders, like, was it this? Like, has this truly been following me forever? Has this been haunting me, haunting Irina? Did this kill our friend? Like, is this, I don't know. She just feels like this is part of her destiny. Like, this isn't just a Vasen. This is so much bigger. And she, like, with force is, like, flinging the holy water. So I'm going to attack her.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, 1 success right out the gate. That's it. No, I get inspiration. Just 1 success.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, he is like held in this horrifying embrace with Irina, and the holy water is searing into the flesh. You watch as it begins to burn away the shadow in flashes of light where it makes contact, and you see now sinew and blood and scalded red skin beneath all of this, the truth behind the very alluring illusion. And it is now, let's see, it was your turn. It's Irina's turn.
Yeah, so Irina is going to grapple him, try to grapple him. Like, try to turn him around with, like, putting her arm around his throat. And so he's more exposed to Vanessa's holy water. And that is a force check.
Okay.
And I don't think you can parry. Or unless you've taken a fast action.
No.
Goddamn. Two successes.
So 2 successes. He is now rolling. He had been gaining dice as the fight had gone on and as he had taken conditions. He has now reached stage 4 where he is dazed. So he had been up to rolling 9 dice. Vanessa, your damage took him down to rolling 7 dice. And of those 7 dice, he was only able to roll 1 opposed to your attack, Ellie. So he still takes 1 more condition, pushing him into a new phase.
As he has been grappling her with him, she's now turning that around and like exposing his front to Vanessa as she's just clawing onto him like a weird, desperate spider. Limbs everywhere.
He sort of arcs his back, and in this moment of pain and ecstasy and who the fuck knows what else, you manage to slide around to his back and get him in like the full Nelson, right? Just holding his shoulders back and exposing this shadowed, burning heart. The shadow begins to weave itself away from the center of its chest, as if this sense of like the sternum being the most guarded part of a person is now being exposed to you and your ritual, Vanessa.
Kill him!
Yeah.
Kill him!
The face is a skull hanging with rotten flesh as it faces you down, unable to penetrate your mental fortitude. And now it is the Vassen's turn. The Vassen is going to reach out and push into your mind, or attempt to, since he is feeling like he cannot touch you. You watch as rot and worms begin to move through the face in an attempt to frighten you even further. God, come on, man. Sweet. All right, so now up to rolling 8 dice as he is pushed into this new condition by you, Irina. He does manage to push into your mind. What would it be that would frighten you further? Not in terms of the condition, but like how does this condition take root, I think?
There's this like fear that Vanessa has that this demon would absolutely be able to like worm into her brain, you know, and find this little tiny like what if type thought. And it's the thought that when Vanessa was delivered at the convent, she was very different and she had these gifts, which she realized later was the sight. But at the time, a lot of the nuns were afraid that they were very superstitious, and they were afraid that she was cursed, or that she was a demon, or, you know, like all of these kind of biblical bad things. And there was a time when she was bullied too by other kids, not by Irina, but they would say that her mom had sex with a demon, like she was the spawn of a demon. And it was horrible. Like, they were horrible to her. And she found out later through a nun, kind of like nastier woman, who said that her mom, you know, had to flee the town she was in because she had sex with a demon.
Yeah.
And it became this like whole thing. And one of the nuns sat her down and explained that like there's a very slight difference between demons and angels, and that, you know, Lucifer himself was cast down and became like things can happen, and she said, you're special, you know, you're different. And perhaps your mom was in love with something that was otherworldly, and like you came out of that, and that's beautiful. And she kind of like, you know, turned it around. But there's always been this, what if she had sex with a demon. Her mom thinks she had sex with an angel.
Yeah.
And that's like what it really is. But yeah, so I think the demon just finds that, like latches on to that memory.
So you are staring this thing down and you're trying to just keep all of these thoughts at bay, and you see the skulled head sort of tick a little bit to the and shudder to the side as if it can see into your mind, and you see the eyes sort of flare with flame for a moment as there you are in your mother's house, running around a kitchen table, and you imagine this sort of thing always looking over her, this guardian angel that maybe even you've seen with your sight in flashes, that was just this light, everything that this creature is not, the total opposite, as if light coming through a window would start to cast light on something that wasn't there, and you'd see like half a face smiling down at you kindly, or a wing of some kind, or feathers falling behind your mother that you would find in the house and pick them up and collect them in a tin in your room or something like that. But this time he's reaching into those strange memories, your first memories of the sight, and tainting them. And as you look up to see the light come through the window, this time it's not the sunlight, it's the moonlight, and you see this rotten face behind your mother leaning down to kiss her lovingly on the neck, and you wonder again, was I born of light, or was I born of something dark and strange? And next we have Vanessa.
And sorry, I take another mental condition, right?
Yeah, you take one new mental condition, so you're at 3.
Oh.
And in this moment, right before your turn, he says, I am so close to you. It wouldn't have to be the way it is with her. It could be something you've never had. I could be your father, Vanessa. I could be your salvation. We could fight this out, or you could just give in and I'd let her go. And he sort of cants his head to the side, awaiting your response.
Vanessa, it's so painful. Vanessa is like on the brink of tears. You are not who you say that you are. You are a liar, and all you do is lie to people. You are not my father. You will never be my father, and I don't need you. I have friends. I don't need you.
Awesome. And so are you going to be throwing more holy water, or what's your plan?
I have a dagger, that was also canon that she has a dagger, but she's a demon. Like, this seems, she's just going to attack again with the holy water.
You get the sense that the holy water is doing more and resisting, isn't able to be resisted in the same way physical attacks are.
No.
One small little retcon is that I looked up Knuckle Duster, and instead of I said 2 damage because I misunderstood the +1 bonus, but it's one damage, so you should give yourself 1 hitch. Sorry.
Thanks, teacher. That's my fault. I didn't look it up. I was like, oh, they're handling it. All right, sounds good.
All right, 1 attack coming up. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Just one success.
Okay. 1 success that goes through. So that condition I got back is gone again. It's like it never happened.
Done and done.
But thank you for being honest.
Hey Ellie, do you want to win the game or do you want to die?
I'm sorry, but I feel like, unfortunately, since it's recorded, some asshole's gonna be like, Knuckle Duster's only getting half a point.
But y'all can't come for my creature because I I built it, so
That's
suck
what I
on
love.
that, bitches.
I
All right. So I have. So that was Vanessa's turn. It is now Irina's turn.
Irina is gonna use her fast action to pull out her revolver and her main action and aim it and shoot for the fucking crotch area of this creature. Because if I go for the head, she might shoot herself. And that would be very sad. A sad end. So ranged attack. Oh, actually, yeah. So I get I get +2 for the revolver, and then I have my ranged combat. So I have 8 die, but I have to remove 1 for the anger condition, right? So that's pretty good odds. So 2 successes on the first.
Okay.
Woo! 3rd success. 3 successes. I realize a revolver might not do shit against a demon, but it's his balls, so it might distract him.
All right. You pull this gun out and are standing trying to take aim at a creature for whom it is very difficult to even see what you're looking at half the time. But your aim strikes true, and the sounds of these gunshots ring throughout this church. Something stirs in the bed beside you in this moment. You hear a shuddering scream as Mother Amelia, who could say? It's not important. Sister, mother, religious lady in the bed. She has now, you realize, been staring and having failed her own fear check horrifyingly, is finally taking action. She begins to pray and hold up her cross beside you, seeing you as this almost holy avenger in the sight of this most unholy thing, who is screaming and wheeling around on you. It is now the Vassen's turn. The Vassen...
So, question. The damage... So the revolver deals 2 damage. Would that mean if 3 successes, would that would be 4 damage, not 6 damage, right? Like it's 1 + 1. Okay.
Yeah. So let's see, with the reduction. Yeah, he's still up. But that was a lot. You watch as the shadow tries to reconstitute itself around those pieces where it's been blasted away, and you see in some ways it's like the places where it's blasted away look like the figure of Christ that you had seen creeping down off the cross, and bits of wood are being blasted away. You turn as his head looks, and it's like the face of Christ with the thorny crown around his head, and then the other side of it, as your gunshot slams into the face, you see it break away, and again there's the skull underneath, and the rot and the maggots, and it's all terrible, honestly. But it wheels on you and it says, "You're like me. You could be like me, Irina. I, the incubus, you, the succubus. You're so close. Just lean over the edge. Embrace me as you once did." And he presses into your mind, and you feel again the ecstasy racking your body, the whole giving of yourself to this creature.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's see whether you can push your way out of it.
No, I
am now rolling 10 dice. That is only 2 mental conditions.
Wow, out of 10 dice.
Yeah, I'm mad about it, but it is what happened, so it's okay. So he tries again to woo you through the memory of that first time that you gave yourself fully over to him, and it takes hold for a minute. How do you push it away?
Irina, as this is happening, Irina looks to Vanessa with the desperation of someone who's about to go under, for real, this time. but she sees that Vanessa is holding steady, holding the cross in her hand. Holding the holy water in her hand. She sees that Mother Amelia has woken up, so she's surrounded by these things that she herself has forsaken, and she's starting to find some hope inside of her. But it's also fading slowly and slowly as she's getting dragged down, literally to hell. And she just wants to give up so badly, but looking at Vanessa, that's the only thing that's keeping her not giving up fully.
And as her eyes find you, Vanessa, what do you do?
Yeah, seeing Irina like pleading. I mean, I can't even heal you because I already used my talent. For the day. Which sucks.
Well, I'm still
I know, you're
not
you're
completely
okay.
useless.
You're okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what Vanessa says. Maybe Vanessa just like holds her hand again, and in Romanian, in their secret language, she just says like, "You're okay. You're okay. It's okay.
So
we have each other."
In this moment, I'm going to ask you, do you want to roll to bolster Irina's next attack, or do you want to roll to try and harm this thing?
That is a good... I think, you know what? I think bolster. I think Irina needs it.
Yeah.
And she's going to bolster.
Awesome. So you... How many rounds of fear did you have? Is this...
4. I think this is my last one.
Okay, great. So you want more than anything to go to her, but there's only so much you can do in this moment. You reach out to her, roll inspiration.
Imbue my weapon with God's power.
1 success.
Okay, so in this moment where the tension is rising between everyone in this room, and the screams, the prayers, the fervent driving of this creature back to where it came from in this holy place, you barely pierce through the veil, but that eye contact, that support means something. And now, Irina, you are able to add 1 die to your dice pool.
Oh. Well, all right.
And he looks at you before you go, and he says, "You might not make it out of here, you know. You could just give in and become what I've been making you all of this time. The choice is yours, little Irina."
Oh, wait. Can I do one more thing? I know I used my action,
why not?
but I want to...
Live it up.
I want to take off action movie style. Take off the hip flask, and I want to like throw it, slide it across the floor to Irina, and I wonder if I could give her an additional +1 to her dice pool by having it on her person, and just giving it because it has the carved inscription on it, and I throw it to her.
Yeah, let's say, actually, I like this story-wise, so I'll allow it. You slide it across the floor, and it's as if you realize in this moment that a battle for someone's soul is not something someone else can fight.
Yeah.
It's something they have to choose, and that's why you've been successful all this time.
So Vanessa is... So she gets the...
You look down in this moment of, fear, trying to, pierce through the veil of your hopelessness, and that the words... what's written on the outside of the flask?
Abuga mano info pentro cineva. To reach through fire for someone who's
And you see the demon, you see the demon look down, and in the fire that comes from his eyes, you see those words emblazoned on the flask that's sitting at your feet.
Irina is staring into the eyes of this demon, and there's something that she craves from him so much that she just wants to give up and go with him. And so she takes her revolver, and then she points it at herself. But then with the courage from Vanessa, it's like with all the power she has left, she just points it at the demon and his skull. And it's this epic battle of the minds of her not trying to not shoot herself.
Right. He's gonna try and parry you.
Oh.
And she just tries to shoot.
Yep.
But I have fucking 10 dice now.
Oh my God.
Minus 9.
So do I.
Oh shit. Ooh, I need good, right? Oh, I only have 3 successes.
Come on, Ellie.
Then it's lucky I didn't get any. Oh, which is fucking bullshit, by the way. But it's okay, because this is what happens. And then I'm going to let you tell me how it ends up. You see as these wings, these beautiful black feathered wings, wrap themselves around you, drawing the shadow and the darkness around Irina. Vanessa, you gasp as if to call out. But then what happens, Irina, as you are embraced by shadow?
I just want to shoot him in the face. In the fucking face. Like my entire load of the gun.
The sound of the gun rings out multiple times. Multiple times in this small room. It is the only sound. All else is dampened. The fervent prayers from Mother Amelia tear off into a scream and then into nothing. Vanessa, you close your eyes, terrified of what you'll see when you open them. And when you do, black feathers are falling all around Irina in the firelight, and temptation is gone.
Irina! And she just runs over and grabs Irina and is just like rocking her back and forth in like the most intense bear hug of a hug.
What are you doing here? What are you doing here in the church? You brought that foul thing into our home.
Mother Amelia, with all due respect, can you shut up? For 2 minutes, okay? Irina, are you?
I killed him. He's gone. He's gone. Vanessa, are you all right? Vanessa, are you all right? She's realizing that Vanessa is also standing there. He's gone. I think he's gone.
Irina, you are so brave.
I could not have done it without you.
I could not have done it without you. You were so strong. I didn't know you were so strong.
I didn't know you were with me in the darkness. I was walking in the darkness. I saw him. I wanted to go with him. But you saved me.
Irina,
you saved me.
I wish I could have been there for you. For all those times that I wasn't, I'm sorry. I didn't know that you were so overcome. I'm sorry, Irina.
Vanessa, Irina wipes away her tears, trying to gather herself for a moment, but then just continues to sob a little bit as she's resting in Vanessa's arms.
There's something about this moment that the fear and defensiveness of Mother Amelia and the being chided by Vanessa in this odd moment where she has to arrest herself and sort of just take in the humanity of the two of you having survived this horrible trial. And she says, "Why did you really come here?"
We came.
So there are these for the treasure chest.
We came for the fucking treasure chest.
And she just looks at the two of you, terrified, and she goes, fucking take it and get out!
Yes, we will. You're doing a really bad job here. You let the demon in. I don't know if you know how churches work, but back in London, that's a big no-no. So...
Amazing. The scene transitions. The two of you, like, bloodied, battered, just desperation wafting off of you as you are sweating, lugging this water damaged crate down to the seaside. And as you arrive, you see that the sea is reaching out towards the horizon, and just the start of dawn, the time that you said that the ladies should meet you at the beach. That time is upon you. They turn, all of them sort of standing in each other's arms, looking out at you, and you notice there are no longer 5 of them, there are 6. There is a tall, severe, and very naked woman with the same dark hair looking at you.
We ran into some complications. But we're here now.
Sorry that we
And they-
look like... Oh, I almost said the curse word. And I look at Irina.
Listen, and I became religious again. The world is upside down. And
Yes.
she's realizing that she's speaking Romanian, and like that bullshit other accent is gone.
Also, I think maybe we said this entire thing in Romanian to them. Not even real.
Yeah.
We're so out of it. I think we're
Yeah.
like talking to each
Yeah.
other. Okay, where's Muriel?
So Muriel is there, and Eilish reaches out a hand, anger brewing inside of her as you see mist begin to wreathe and wrap itself around her and her sisters. And Muriel comes from the side and grabs her hand, and she says, no. They've been helping us. Did you get them?
Is this your mother?
I am their oldest sister,
Sorry.
the one who was robbed.
Sorry, I didn't mean like you looked old. I just didn't know how it worked.
In fact, you could be twins.
Okay, take it back. She didn't
Yeah.
say that. She didn't say that. She just simply asked. I'm sorry. My name is Vanessa Uncle. Who are you?
I am the leader of our people, of our pod. I was the one who warned them never to deal with landwalkers.
We are in agreement. Our job is to separate our two worlds, and we apologize for humans. Humans are rash, and humans make decisions that are not always based in logic and understanding for your part of the world. Anyway, I'm sorry. I hope that this will excuse any of the overstepping the humans have done, but in all fairness, you have murdered our kind, and so I do not want to see you at our shore ever again.
Roll a manipulation check to see if you can scare the shit
no,
out
you
of
have
this.
a negative on that for 10 days.
I have I have so much negative on specifically manipulation, so she'll be like, ugh. Well, 2 successes on
Amazing.
3 die.
Wow.
So you have literally been through hell and back
Yeah.
on behalf of these fucking seal people.
Yeah.
And so there's something about your determination that is intimidating, even to this ancient sea being.
I feel like the way I said it as well, like there's very Eastern European, no emotion in it. It's just like, I banish you from this shore. Don't come back and I'll fucking kill you. But it's
Yeah.
really up to you. It's not really my problem if you come back. I'll just kill you, you know? Like,
Amazing. Yeah. She sort of takes you in as you say this and smiles, and she says, I respect your strength. Now give us what I came for. And she, like, looks at the chest and then looks back at you.
Absolutely. Vanessa?
Absolutely, what Irina said. And she opens up the chest, and she says, "Please, take them. I'm sorry for your hardships."
You watch as these girls fall upon this chest with the same joy that, young women might express falling upon a chest of new clothing that's come to the house, but there's something reverent about them. They hold the skins to their faces. They congratulate each other. We move away from this scene, which is a scene of rising joy and a rising tide. We come back to the train station, and you all stand there with Patrick, who is seeing you off back to London. And he says, "I honestly don't know why I should be thanking you, but I also know deeply that I owe you my gratitude for doing what you did for my family."
Patrick, take it from me. You do not want to mix with the Vaesen. They are, there is something fundamentally different about them, but a human Vaesen relationship can never work. I know. And she looks at some of the scars from the fucking battle.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
we look like shit.
Yeah. But I share your heartbreak. You just know that it's a memory that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. But now find a nice girl. I've seen plenty of nice girls around here. You'll find happiness again. Knowing full well that he also lost his kid to the sea. I'm so heartbroken for this man.
He begins to speak, but then flinches and looks upward as drops of rain come from the rolling thunder above and coat his face. The two of you sort of like underneath the overhang, waiting at the train station, and he just walks out into the rain. And then he looks back at you, his hair sort of matted down against his face as he's just let this sweep over him. He says, "Those we love are never truly gone." And he waves to you a final time, begins walking away, getting smaller and smaller as he walks down towards the beach, sort of taking in the feeling of this rain like an embrace. The two of you are able to get on the next train and head back home to London.
What happened to Captain? I feel like what happened to Captain Rainer?
I was about to say, Vanessa says to Irina, "It is so good we caught an early train before Captain Rainer woke up, because that would have been really, really messy to deal with."
I also feel like I don't really want to meet the handsome man that I forget
Swain.
his name.
Igor.
Igor.
Oh my God.
Igor. I just remembered now that I think I promised him things that I didn't fulfill.
Didn't
Deliver on?
I think, in my mind, story-wise, what happened was they both, got very, very drunk. Igor, obviously, but I think Captain Rainer was, waiting for Mary and probably was, drinking. They both passed out, and then we just left really early.
Yeah.
With an invoice. We leave an invoice at his table.
A note, and it was "Will write, love Mary."
Yeah.
We see now, as he picks up this missive from the desk, he's rubbing his temples. He's in the room he provided for Mary, just surrounded by flowers and lovely things, and he is confused, and he looks out the window, and by now Patrick is walking along the edge of the bay there, and they sort of meet eyes, and Patrick looks at him and then looks out at the sea and then gives him a little bit of a salute and keeps walking. And you hear Captain Raynor, who's just woken, say, Igor, the girls, where are they? Where are they? And that's the last we hear from Captain Raynor. The two of you on your train back to London. How do you spend that train ride? Is it in silence? Are you sleeping?
I think resting, but also in my mind, I think Irina knows what's coming, and so she's trying to cherish this ride with Vanessa. These 7 hours of just like not talking about what's eventually gonna the goodbyes that are going to happen in London. But then when they eventually get to the train station, she's trying to hold it together. You know, she's put on some nicer clothing. She has all of her bags packed up and has just called for a man, a coach to pick her up and an Uber. And
Vass and Uber.
And then a part of her knows that they've gone through something that can never be forgotten. But another part of her also feels like Vanessa is so tied to her past. Just being with her and looking at her will forever wake that memory, that broken memory inside of her as well. Like she's so connected to her pain without being the cause of the pain. And with tears in her eyes bubbling up, she turns around to Vanessa and says, I believe it's time.
Vanessa nods. I understand, Irina, that no matter, even if I told you to stay, that you would be welcome at Rose House, that Mary would love to meet you and to spend time with you. I truly think you would be friends. But I understand. I think I've always understood. Even as girls, you were bound to do great things, and sometimes you have to do them alone. Irina, I do not know when I will see you again. I wanted to give you this. She reaches into her bag, and on the train ride, while they were taking turns, you know, one person sleeping on one shoulder and then being awake and thinking, she had carved a very small, because she didn't have that much time, but it's two little figures holding hands. And one is clearly like in a habit, sort of like a nun attire, and the other one is not. And on the bottom, it just says, to Irina, with love.
Oh.
And she puts it just fits into the palm of her hand. It's like not big at all. And she puts it into her hand and closes her hand. And she says, I will always, always be with you, no matter what you are going through.
Vanessa, this is so very kind. I didn't have anything for you. You were always a lot more considerate. And she takes out a small little bottle with whiskey. Are you going to give me that? I was thinking, like, I was considering, I know that you don't drink much, but this is a very fine whiskey. I found it from a man down in Spain. And now that I think about it, I think that's where I shall go next. Vanessa. Anyway, this is getting way too serious for me. I need a drink.
So as you both part, as if sensing the opportunity to ruin a moment, you're back! And you see Vlada sort of trunchantly marching down the track, right, to go and pick up your suitcases, Vanessa. And Mary Smythe stands there dressed to the nines with the largest hat with flowers and feathers you've ever seen. She says, "You look just awful. I hope you don't mind me saying. We should really do something about that, your bad habit." And she sort of comes in and encloses Vanessa. And Vanessa, by the time this embrace is over, you find that Irina is gone.
And Vanessa is about to, make another introduction and say something, and she just opens her mouth and looks, closes her mouth, and knows that she's long gone. She's not. And she stares down the road, presumably where Irina had walked off. And she just kind of touches her chest, her heart.
And in the rush of people, Irina is lost to you, but Irina, you've made your way outside the train station and to a nearby park, just setting your things down, finally able to be alone with your thoughts. And you look up as the sunlight finally begins to warm your face. And that is the end of our story.
Well, not quite the end just yet. In a remote part of the world, we see a desolate cabin surrounded by a beautiful northern landscape. A sign outside the cabin has something written on it, but it's been abandoned for so many years, so you can no longer make out the words. A car drives up to the cabin and parks. It's a Tesla Model S. A family of 4 steps out of the car. The young father glancing at the relatively unwelcoming sight of the abandoned cabin in front of him. "It was supposed to be here," he says to his wife in Norwegian. He walks up to the cabin, looks in through one of the broken windows. "But I can't see anything." "Mama, I just want to go home," the youngest daughter says, tugging at her mother. "Just a second, honey." But, Mama, there's something wrong with this place." "Are you lost?" a female voice from behind them suddenly says. It's a short blonde woman who seemingly came from nowhere. She has a concerned look on her face. "I wouldn't go in there if I were you. It's been abandoned for years. My family owns this house. I'm Margaret, by the way. I live just a couple of minutes further down the road, and if you want, you can come with me and we can have some food and fika so you can get some rest before you continue on your journey." Margaret looks at the young girl. She smiles. "And perhaps I could read you some stories, little one."